name is Garth, otherwise known as Big G.
My name is Richie Blackford.
Mrs. Griffiths would have been very proud of her daughter, Marcia, even though she reluctantly allowed her into the music business. Marcia went.
Yeah. All we need to do is to recognize that if we put investment in, we are revitalizing communities. How we deal with small man? And so the sound system start to come up. The sound system was the small man entertainment.
Inimitable. Toots. Mr. Frederick Hibbert himself. And the Maytals.
His mother, Prince Buster, had his imprint all over it. You know? And
Sundays come here.
And Sunday's here. It's a wonderful, sunny, rainy Sunday afternoon here in South
leave out the weather.
I in an I gold shirt. Jamaica 60th. I tell you, large up yourself. I'd asked my co-host here to wear a shirt like this today, but disobedient Paul, man, I tell you. Him soon get him road to Damascus.
Nobody try to shine a light for me. Because you know, if I never carry the shirt, you wouldn't have no holy argument, and that's the problem.
Well, you know, they say the greatest thing is service to your others. So.
Absolutely, and you can't blame me for that. But it's Sunday, and today, being Sunday, of course, the only place you want to be between 2 and 4 o'clock
is right here
on Sunday Scoops.
Yardmedia.com.
Absolutely, and you're listening to Sunday Scoops. And today, we're going to be featuring the great voices, one of the great vocal trios coming out of Jamaica, the mighty Heptones.
Yes, definitely, and also one of the wickedest bass player too.
Oh, listen, man. In fact, I had an opportunity a couple of weeks ago to take in the great Leroy Sibbles over by I'll give them a little free plug, by the Gardens, and let me tell you something, man. Leroy Sibbles tore down the place. And so today we are going to regale our listeners with some of the finest rock steady and reggae music to come out of Jamaica in the second half of the 1960s into the early 1970s, while we at the same time regale you with the stories about the mighty Heptones. I'm pretty sure you have something lined up on the turntable, Mr.
Yeah, man. I've lined up one of their, well, not even one of their first issue, Gunmen Coming to Town, from producer Ken Lack, done in 1966. Gunmen Coming to Town. I tell you, the Bonanza TV show.
1965. There's so much about this music, though, God, that you know, we
you say it's a hit,
wanna
which wasn't
share
a
it.
hit.
It wasn't a hit, but there again, as I said, there's so much that the tune is representing. First of all, you know, we were standing in front of the Woolworth store.
Yep, you get geography.
1960s, Woolworth is one of the biggest department store in
Kingston and across Jamaica.
right in the heart of downtown Kingston there on King Street. You know, you can
So you go get your
literally
butter crepe, you go get your school uniform.
Well, in fairness, butter at them own store. But the truth is, they sold everything from shoes to a pin to a anchor to a oar.
From a cradle to a grave.
From the cradle to the grave. The second thing is, the group would have started a lot earlier. They would have been basically putting lyrics together from the last half, somewhere around 58, 59. You know, gathering together in the Trenchtown community and basically singing on the street side under the street light after school hours and on weekends as they prepare themselves. You know, who could write, everybody trying to write a tune and so on, because they were preparing for the singing competitions that were the order of the day in Jamaica, specifically in Kingston at the time. People like Veer Johns and so on. So they would have been out there doing that. But the other thing with this song, especially, coming back again, 1965, you talk about, you know, them slinging them 45 and them ratchet knife and so on. It was speaking to the transformation of the badman culture from the fling rock, stone and buckle to the knife culture to the gun culture. And if you notice again, we talk about the bonanza ska thing. You know, because the rhythm track to that is what we call a tune that was called Bonanza Ska, which came off the Western movie which starred the Cartwright family called Bonanza, which was a television staple of that 1960s period.
Plus, at that time too, you had the spaghetti westerns.
No, them never come in yet. Them never come. The
This is
spaghetti
60s.
60 because spaghetti western really came into the thing.
Late 60s, early
67,
70s.
68 with Sergio Corbucci when he starred the Django movie, Django with a Coffin, which was one of the earliest thing. But prior to that though, what you had was a lot of westerns. One of the biggest westerns to have hit Jamaica at the time was a movie called The Gunfight at OK Corral with Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas. That movie, in fact, is credited with kind of opening Jamaicans up to the gun culture. And of course, what provided the signature on top of that was the same Django movie and the spaghetti westerns that followed. Sergio Leone came in that 1970 period and started to
Clint
put
Eastwood
out
movies
the Clint Eastwood trilogy, Hang My, A Fistful of Dollars, and For a Few Dollars More. And then you had a whole slew
Proceeding to that,
of others.
High Plains Drifter and all of those.
Well, and even High Plains was the spaghetti westerns. You had movies like A Dollar a Head or The Hills Run Red.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly was that was part of the Clint Eastwood trilogy. But you had some others with like Henry Yu Young. Listen, when you open them door, I mean that, you know. Because I was a movie tetanus. We couldn't pay the money. Used to climb the mango tree
Used to be
right
like
beside.
a buckle police, like that.
No man, me climb there's a little rum bar right beside Rialto. And about 5 away used to go down there, especially on a Friday night and Saturday night was movie night. And so when we go up the bar, climb on the mango tree, and then the mango tree had a nice little limb that hung over right in a Rialto. And Rialto is an open-air theater.
Yes, but
so
I
we
used to
just
go there.
set up a seat and on the mango tree there, and we watch every show until one night the tree limb broke to rot.
Too much honor.
And one of the boy them, a little youth, we call him Kuda drop out of the tree and broke him foot, and the whole of the run we left him. But that is just in restaurant.
But that's basically squaring you with the whole Western movies, gun culture, gunmen coming to town at the time. the gun violence that started to rear its ugly head in a real way in Jamaica.
Yeah, we can remember, in 1962, the gun thing came into the politics. There was the Dudley Thompson squared off with Siaga for the Western Kingston seat, which
Out west.
became Tivoli.
West.
Right? And what happened is PNP always win that seat. And whatever, according to Dog newspaper, shots were fired and the police were told to lock off the polling division at Dongle, which at the time carried the majority of the votes. And once the gunshots fire, police gather around the area, lock off the polling division, nobody else could vote. I don't think they even counted the votes that were made. And, ultimately, that part of the constituency would have been about 5,000-6,000 votes. And those people never voted. Siaga ultimately won the seat by some 483 votes, and he never lost again. But before there was a next election, he bulldozed Dongle, and they built what now we now know as Tivoli.
Tivoli Gardens, of course, was named after a city in Italy.
Absolutely.
And again, see the same thing, spaghetti, Western in the wild, wild west.
There you go. And then on top of that, the gun violence now spread throughout that Western Kingston belt. And we're going to talk, well, since we're on the subject, because the benefits politics was a big part of the problem, where they built Rema in the middle of Trenchtown, and the whole idea was to cut off some of that, what would have been the then PNP voting. You populate the Rema community with your hand-picked residents, and it changed the whole voting thing. But it opened up a part of Jamaica's history that a lot of people trying to forget, the benefits politics and the criminality associated with the gun culture. So the Heptones were literally putting this out there. Gunmen coming to town wasn't a big hit, but it was a significant and seminal tune.
Yeah, man.
Over to you, my boss.
I was just thinking about the next, after they formed, for those of you who don't know, the members of the group were Leroy Sibbles, Earl Morgan, and Barry Llewellyn.
Absolutely. Now, they moved to Coxon after that, 1966. And Clement Sir Coxon Dodd, by this time, he is now making waves in the music business at this time. Largely, again, and if you want to know more about Coxon, you want to just dive into the Yard Media archives, where we have a couple of streams that we did on Coxon himself. But Coxon became one of the venerable record producers out of Jamaica at the time, and it's the place where the music was literally happening. And they recorded that 1966, a tune called The Best Things in Life. Of course, Leroy, by this time now, basically, according to the scribes again, he was the self-appointed leader of the group. But one thing with Leroy Sibbles is that he was always writing songs. He was, a man who himself too is a multi-instrumentalist of note, particularly skilled with the bass guitar. And we're going to talk about.
But he never really started out as a bass player still.
No.
But we'll get into that. Let's introduce you to The Best Things in Life, featuring the sweet harmonies of the Heptones.
feeling rude. I'm feeling rude. I say no. When you feel it, girl, you're gonna say it is so nice. I say no. When you feel it, girl, you're gonna say it is so nice. Girl, I know you want it. I say you want it tonight. And you're gonna get a lot of it. Get it tonight. Oh, get it galore, girl. Get it galore. You won't want no more, no more. Want no more. And that's for sure. That's for sure. See the moon, see the fatigue, see that how you feeling, see that how you like it, see that how it nice you. So nice, alright, so nice. I know you want it, I say want it tonight. And you're gonna get a lot of it. Get it tonight. I lost my baby, but she's coming back. Yeah, she wrote a letter stated she needs me badly, and if she comes home, I'll have a precious time, precious time. My little honey said the new guy treats her badly. It seems to me his pretty looks did hypnotize her. All I can say, pretty looks isn't all, isn't all.
Yeah, we just gave you the best things in life. Fatty, fatty, and pretty looks isn't all.
You know, a couple of pointers, a couple of things we want to just point out with the music of the spirit. First of all, seminal rock steady music, right?
This is like a Sunday afternoon out on Hellshire Beach.
Absolutely. In fact, you talk about Sunday afternoon out at Hellshire Beach. That's where I kind of cut my teeth in the music with Senior Daly. Magic, you know Senior Daly. Yep. Blackford, I see you bring the little butter pan, a tune them come with your yellow butter pan. Play upon the turntable there, and if you anyhow you can't find no tune, you have to come off of the thing. Right? That's how I learn how to play music. But you know, and this is the kind of music we were playing right on the beach there at Hellshire every Sunday, myself and Senior Daly, until him give me a little promotion and carry me down to where the nightclub, the name, Ribby Chung place in Portmore there. Can't remember the name of the
Cactus.
place. Cactus nightclub. And me used to do the early bongs when the big people things. And then, you know, Senior Daly would have tell you, I want you start play some of the early thing, and then me go take it to a fry and then we bring you back.
Not from.
You know, say from in him, take it to a fry Magic, you know, say so Senior thing. Yes. But anyway, Leroy Sibbles here though. Let's talk about Fatty Fatty. Sibbles is
prolific songwriter.
Reported as saying, you know, one of the prolific. He is the prolific songwriter, or certainly was the prolific songwriter for the Heptones at the time. And he said he basically was sitting down one morning, on his veranda, and he saw this lady walking down the road. Big woman, but the woman plump, round, you know. And him say, watching her walking down the street, the lyrics for Fatty Fatty just came to him. And him say, he never hesitated. He literally ran down to the studio, you know, with them little notes. And by the time he hit the studio, put the lyrics together. Fatty Fatty was born, and it became their first big hit with Studio One. Single was released in
Not even
19...
become. It is still. You ever tell you today? You drop this in any party, and let me tell you, the response is phenomenal.
And what else too is that it spawned multiple other songs came off this rhythm. You know, one of the feature of the period too, and it has certainly followed us. According to some of the experts in the music business, it was a blessing, and in time it became a curse, where the studio put together a rhythm. The rhythm is so nice that they don't want to just hold it down with one song, and so they recorded other singers on the beat, and so you had multiple songs out there on the same tone. It became a feature of how we developed our music over the years. Some will argue that over time what it did is that it killed the talent as far as the musicians were concerned, because if a songwriter is coming through and is creating new rhythms, what you're doing is that you're forcing the musicians to dig into themselves and their own creativity, as opposed to you recycle one rhythm 100-200 times. So it worked for the consumers, and as a man who was a regular in the dance thing, you love it when the selector can find 5, 6, 7 variations of a tune. But in terms of the business, and history has now proven that it didn't necessarily work to our advantage. We see nowadays, most of the current crop of musicians, they're always going back to this 1960s, 1970s rhythm tracks to find something to work with.
One of the first persons who started it out was Sugar Minott, when he did a whole revamp of the Studio One catalog, along with Michigan and Smile in the mid to late 70s.
Absolutely.
The next song I want to feature, Richie, is a song again, 1966, Sweet Talking.
If now I say let's go walking, come on and walk with me, and baby you will see that these words we've been talking. Come on and talk with me, and make your little heart set free. If now I say let's go dancing, come out and dance with me, and baby you will see that these words we've been talking. Come on and talk with me, and make your little heart set free. yesterday. I know I won't forget. I wanna tell you how much I love you. Come with me to the sea of love. Do you remember the time we met? That's a day I know I won't forget. I wanna tell you how much I love you. We're having a party tonight. Everything will be alright. Come on, everyone. It's time that we should have some fun. We've got to live some life before we're old. We've got to live some life before we're cold. Time is short, so here we play. Let's live the life that we can. Don't try to work yourself away. Remember, there's another day. We got to live some life before we're old. We got to live some life before we're cold.
Listen, everyone can use a little pick-me-up. And when it's that time, reach for a bottle of Zion Organic Roots, made from all natural ingredients. Zion Roots and ginseng, tiger bone, bedroom bully is the natural alternative. Zion Roots is available at all local restaurants and Caribbean stores. Visit our website at zionrootsorganic.com or call 954-588-5203. Zion Roots, the natural alternative.
Send money back home this tax season with JN Money. Now you can send money to any bank account in Jamaica and get 10% off your transaction fees. Plus, send money to a JN Money card or even pay bills in Jamaica. This tax season, there's so much you can do when you send money back home with JN Money.
Licensed as a money transmitter by the Banking Department of the State of Florida and Georgia.
What makes my heart beat? Finding myself on the sunny side of life, where I can surround myself with everything I want. What makes my heart beat? Trying new foods, created by people who are as excited to make it as I am to taste it. What makes my heart beat? Keeping a promise to myself and to the one who has my heart. Home is where the heart is. My heart says, Jamaica, heartbeat of the world. Let's go.
Jamaica, the home of authentic reggae music and reggae wear. Reggae wear, the gear for any occasion. Reggae wear, stylish. Reggae gear, fashionable. Authentic garments, the rhythm of Jamaica. Wrap yourself in the warmth of reggae wear. Get your reggae gear today. Visit www.yardmedia.com. Capture the rhythm of Jamaica in reggae wear. Vibrant colors for spring, summer, fall, and winter. Visit our website at www.yardmedia.com and get your reggae gear today.
Yes, Mr. Big G. A lady just tell me, say, 40 years me I wait for the program. You know? She said, I push back all of my furniture. Them. And she said she had drop legs, so nobody know what people talking today. You know?
Listen. Heptones, when it comes to Heptones, when you look at the catalog, Richie, and the success of these songs, you're looking at Party Time, Sea of Love, I Don't Want to Live This Life Alone, Sweet Talking. There's never a time when any of these songs play where you don't feel like you want to
hold
dance.
on, man. You left off some. Once you start to warm up yourself, you're in trouble.
Brethren, you see, me kind of leave them trying to feel you talk about.
Well, give me a little something.
Yes.
All right, party, I got you.
We can't take over the whole thing. Then it would be Garth Hendricks, Sunday Scoops. And it's me and Magic do this. I will left you out the road.
I left you out the road. But seriously, one of the things that you're getting here is Studio One had basically done some reorganization. The music era had shifted. We had now settled in more or less into what became a very short rock steady period. The remnants of what would have been the Scatterlights, when Don Drummond passed away. Well, he got himself into an issue which required them institutionalizing him. And so his absence from the Scatterlights at the time basically brought the group to that iteration of the Scatterlights to a premature end. And of course, Coxsone used the opportunity to do some reorganization of his old studio. So he took some of the available musicians from the Scatterlights, because they were all session musicians anyway, playing with Duke Reed as under Tommy McCook on the one hand,
Supersonics.
and some of them would play with Coxsone as the Soul Vendors, or there was another
Sound Dimension.
the Sound Dimension, or the Soul Vendors. But it was pretty much the same group of musicians.
Who went up to, what name? Perry. And they were the Upsetters.
Yes, when they went to Perry, they were the Upsetters. But a big part of that would have been the man from Trinidad.
We call his name
Lintate. Lintate. He didn't do a lot of work with Studio One.
He worked with Duke Reed.
But most of his work was with Duke Reed. But what he did is that he sort of refined the sound that was coming out of Jamaica at the time. And, Lintate is largely credited with basically establishing what became known as rocksteady in Jamaica.
And he himself said that, when he came from Trinidad, you have slow calypso, you have fast calypso, but everything in Jamaica was fast, because ska was a predominant thing at the time. So he decided to experiment and, slow.
What became thing. And then, remember, we were also borrowing a lot of this music coming out of North America. We're borrowing a lot of these R&B tunes where these artists were basically to use, again, my friend's term and Magic's term, to lick over some of these tunes as reggae music.
Right.
But the reorganization at Coxsone saw Leroy Sibbles in the first instance playing a much bigger role. One, he became one of the A&R people at Studio One. So he was there finding, finding talent
artists
for the studio, conducting the auditions that were done under the mango tree on a Sunday morning especially. You have dozens of youngsters gather up, and Leroy would be there walking them through the processes, and something that we wanna, in fact, we're working hard to get Leroy Sibbles on the program. And if I know you're out there listening, Mr. Sibbles, you are needed. We need you to be on the show,
so we can some light, shed better light on the subject,
especially on the your own contribution to Studio One and its development. But
he also talked about the fact that he didn't really start out as a bass player. It was Don Drummond who introduced him because he needed a third upright bass person or bass player at the gigs that he was getting outside of Studio One.
Right.
And he told him, yeah, you can do it, man. Just change up a little thing here and there, and that was the start of the end.
And he became a foremost bass player. I want
most of
Leroy to come on the show and talk about this himself.
Most of the bass rhythms, the bass lines that you hear in a lot of these songs today
came from him. Right.
Yeah,
in fact, Leroy Sibbles would have played on one of the biggest tunes to ever come out of Jamaica at the time. The tune by the Abyssinians, Sata Masagana. And he played on a lot of the Studio One tracks, as you just pointed out. But the other side of this too was Jackie Mittoo. We saw both of them, both himself and Jackie Mittoo, were working.
Jackie Mittoo is who I was talking about, not Don Drummer.
Yeah,
Jackie Mittoo.
Yeah, they was working simultaneously with Jackie Mittoo to structure the way how Studio One did its recording, which meant that Coxsone kind of, immersed himself more into the background of things. Not that he was no longer involved, but he had two trusted soldiers, and they were carrying the brunt of the work in terms of the studio production. But again, I don't want the people to lick off my head. We have a whole heap of music that we want to share. So let us roll out some of these. You don't play Sea of Love, Ting-a-Ling. Sea of Love, by the way, is a tune, but it's a doo-wop classic from the Twilights.
Yes.
Again, coming out of that late 1950s, 1960s era. And the Heptones, as we say, lick it over into their own stylings. But we have a whole library of tunes that we're going to sample here, some of which you started already. I got the handle, Ting-a-Ling, Party Time, Love Won't Come Easy. Let us hear what you have lined up at the turntable, guys.
Each day is so hard. Please help me, Lord. I just can't stand the strain. No, each day is just the same. Tears fall down like rain, and I can't stand the pain. Why must I live this life alone? Why must I live this life alone? Yeah. Everyone is having fun, but I am having none. What in this world can I do? Yeah. I try the best I can to let them understand that I'm only a man. Yeah, but I can't seem to find someone with a peace of mind, someone who is true and kind. Why must I live this life alone? Why must I live this life alone? Yeah. Everyone is having fun, but I am having none. What in this world can I do? We're gonna fight it hard, yeah, with the help of the Lord, yeah. We're gonna fight it to the top. no reason to hold me back. I have wants and desires just like you. So move out of sight because I'm coming true. No matter how hard you try, you can stop me now. No matter how hard you try, you can stop me now. Yes, your skin is white, but does that make you right? This is a message to y'all. Together we stand, divided we fall. Black is a color, just like white. How can a color turn white? With all the right. We all have our faults, yes we do. So look in the mirror, what do you see? Two eyes and nose and a mouth just like me. Oh, your eyes are open but you refuse to see. The laws of society will make for you.
Yeah, that is what they call a musical interlude.
By
Ending with that Temptations
Yeah, man,
cover
you-
version, Message from a Black Man. You know what else had a very good cover version of that same song too? Derek Harriott.
Yeah, but I in terms of the lick over though, I particularly prefer this because you're getting the first of all to reinterpret this as reggae. This is, as you said, a Temptations music. 1969, one of the most tumultuous years we know of. It was, 4 years after the passage of the Civil Rights Act.
Right in the middle of the Vietnam
The
War.
Vietnam War is raging, and the only value black people seem to have in America is as to be used as cannon fodder. You send them down to Vietnam for the Viet Cong, kill them off, right? No real preparation to accommodate black people within the quote-unquote white American society, and this song is an anthem in that regard. It showed a number of things for me in terms of the Heptones and their ability to put this in a reggae styling, is that it showed that the group was connected. Mikey Bennett, and we always love having him on this show because Dennis Howard to a similar extent. Because these guys look at the music in terms of the contribution of the musicians and how they were literally recording history and providing life lessons for the listeners out there. So it's entertainment, yes.
Making the songs contextual.
They put in the thing into context. And this song here, Message for a Black Man, I mean, you couldn't have wound down that set to God with a better selection. But the other thing too is, here's a group that had now taken ownership. One of the features of rocksteady music at the time is that we were borrowing a lot from North America. But at the same time, again, you have to give credit to Leroy Sibbles, who was writing material, based on what their own experiences
And
were.
working with Jackie Mittoo in rearranging and
Absolutely. In fact, that was one of the blessings that they had, in that you had a Jackie Mittoo who could just listen to the hum from the singers, and he create a musical arrangement. And then you have Leroy Sibbles as well, who, without question, talent gifted, and able to put all of this material together. As you said before, this the most significant, clearly one of the most significant contributors to Clement Dodd's music catalog would have to have been the Heptones, because almost every song that the man put out under the Studio One thing would have been a big.
we still have a couple of them to cover. Ting-a-ling, Baby,
We're
why
gonna
did
play-
you leave me to
We're gonna
cry?
play as much of them as you can, because if not, people gonna sue it to rant it. That you promise us and we never deliver. But again, there was another song that you played, God. I Got the Handle.
Yes. A little bit misogynistic.
Misogyny.
Well, not just a little bit.
Well, you know.
But that was what they were living at the time.
Absolutely.
That is
And
what life was.
In the Jamaica of that late 1960s, early 1970s, you know, the treatment of women, and we have come a long, long way, you know, because for a musician or a
Not
musician,
even just Jamaica, it's across the planet.
You know,
because movies that we used to watch in the 80s, especially comedy movies and the things that were said and done, could not stand up today in this PC generated days. You know?
Especially in the with this what's going on with this, the whole Me Too movement
and
and
half
so
of
on.
those movies would not fly today.
Absolutely. But it just showed you how, as a society, we have, you know, how far we have come, the transformation, the stuff that we you know, then we took it for granted. Now you have to be very careful. You know, you can't even give a man wife a compliment. You're not careful, the man come and back him him thing and want knock it down.
I have the handle, you have the blade.
There you go.
And if you don't take care of me, you're gonna get first aid.
But I know you have a whole heap of tune line up, and we don't wanna cheat the listeners
coming up
out
at the
of
hour
it.
too, so
we're coming up on a break at the hour.
Yeah, let's kick it off with Why Did You Leave Me to Cry?
You were my very first girl. I loved you more than anything in this old world. Why did you leave me to cry? Oh, my baby, at times that I've passed you by, you could see the teardrops rolling down my eyes. Why did you leave me to cry? Oh, my baby, I wanted you to be a bride, and forever you would stay by my side. Why did you leave me to cry? Oh, my honey, oh, now I'm so all alone. I've got no one to call my very own. Why did you leave me to cry? They say everything can be replaced. They say every distance is a moon. Yeah, but I remember everything.
Now you can send money to any bank account in Jamaica and get 10% off your transaction fees. Plus, send money to a JN Money card or even pay bills in Jamaica. This tax season, there's so much you can do when you send money back home with JN Money.
Licensed as a money transmitter by the Banking Department of the State of Florida and Georgia.
Listen, everyone can use a little pick-me-up. And when it's that time, reach for a bottle of Zion Organic Roots, made from all natural ingredients. Zion Roots and ginseng, tiger bone, bedroom bully is the natural alternative. Zion Roots is available at all local restaurants and Caribbean stores. Visit our website at zionrootsorganic.com or call 954-588-5203. Zion Roots, the natural alternative.
What makes my heart beat? Finding myself on the sunny side of life, where I can surround myself with everything I want. What makes my heart beat? Trying new foods, created by people who are as excited to make it as I am to taste it. What makes my heart beat? Keeping a promise to myself and to the one who has my heart. Home is where the heart is. My heart says Jamaica, heartbeat of the world. Let's go.
Jamaica, the home of authentic reggae music and reggae wear. Reggae wear, the gear for any occasion. Reggae wear, stylish. Reggae gear, fashionable. Authentic garments, the rhythm of Jamaica. Wrap yourself in the warmth of reggae wear. Get your reggae gear today. Visit www.yardmedia.com. Capture the rhythm of Jamaica in reggae wear. Vibrant colors for spring, summer, fall, and winter. Visit our website at www.yardmedia.com and get your reggae gear today.
in my heart. Girl, I know that I'm losing you. And I don't wanna cry, baby. I don't wanna cry over you, my baby. I don't wanna cry over you, yeah. I don't wanna cry, baby. I don't wanna cry. Oh no, I don't wanna. And I don't wanna cry, baby. I don't
And there you had it again, another musical interlude where we featured a couple of hits, Ting-a-Ling, which was later covered by the Tamlins. Let me tell you, Richard, Tamlins did a good thing with this.
No, the Tamlins really made this song memorable, but you know, it considering, I mean, if you can take a piece of work that the Heptones do, and then you own it in the way the Tamlins did, it tells you that.
It also shows you who was behind that production.
Again,
it was
the man himself.
Yes, Sly and Robbie.
This essentially, though, is the Heptones stamping them class on Jamaican music at this time. I mean, you talk about, you know, a group coming through 1965. By this time now, they would have been about looking to step away from Coxsone. You know, it's amazing that artists could have, you know, put together the kind of catalog that these guys did with Coxsone, and, you know, at the end of the day, never really made much money out of their effort. One of the negative side of not just the Jamaican music business, because it was always a feature of the music business across the world where, you know, there's a word that I would use for it that says exploitation. Others would suggest differently. But the bottom line is, you know, you could argue to some extent that they were being taken advantage of, or you can also argue that, you know, in a majority of instances, they were paid a stipend. The question is, was that enough given the value of the work thereafter? You know, these stories provide significant lessons for upcoming artists in terms of, you know, getting your publishing proper, getting your performance and you know, the rights that are yours as far as the music that you have created. These groups, the Heptones, you know, and a multitude of other artists coming through in that 1960s, 1970s period, provide some significant lessons for those who are looking to enter the music industry, the music business, in terms of crossing your T's and dotting your I's. Now, by 1973, the group basically walked away from Coxsone. Largely, again, as we say, some of the big issues, but they went on to record with Joe Gibbs. And Joe Gibbs, if you remember, would have opened his own record shop. 1973, he would have now moved to Retirement Road up that side, because he would have been recording people like Dennis Brown and so on at this time.
I mean, Retirement Crescent.
Yes, Retirement Crescent, yeah. Peter Tosh. So he had been attracting a lot of that early talent coming out of this same period here. And so they went over to him. They also did some work with the late Harry J. Harry, again, man who I knew personally. We used to have many conversations on the veranda at Kingston Creek Club, where we were both members. And he talked about his experiences with a lot of these artists. Now, at Harry J., they landed they jumped off the thing in 1973 with a big hit called book of rules. And, this song was actually taken from a poem called A Bag of Tools, which was a poem written by a man named R.L. Sharp. And the Heptones reworked the poem and they created this.
Isn't it strange how princesses and kings in clown daddy capers in sawdust ring? Just while common people like you and me will be villains for eternity. Each is given a bag of tools, a shapeless mask, and the book of rules. Each must make their lives flowing. A tumbling black or a stepping stone. Just while common people like you and me will be villains for eternity. Each is given a bag of tools, a shapeless mask, and the book of I say small people like you and me will be villains for eternity. Each is given a bag of tools, a shapeless mask, and the book of rules. Look when the rain is falling from the sky. I know the sun will be only missing for a while. I says common people like you and me will be villains for eternity. Each is given a bag of tools, a shapeless mask, and the book of rules. Pow, 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 pow. Pow, 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 pow. Pow, 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 pow.
If ever there was a song that the Heptones did that I particularly like, is this song. It's a
Big tune. One of the most profound experiences I've had with this song was in high school. My art teacher at the time, Hepburn Davis, brought his cassette player into the classroom and played this song and said, "Okay, draw it."
It's a draw the song.
Yeah, man. Book of Rose. Actually, he chose a line. Each was given
A bag of tools.
yes, a shapeless mass and a book of rose. And then he said, "Draw that."
Amazing. No, they as we said earlier, they took the song from R.L. Sharp's poem, and there are a couple of things with this song. One, it was the music, according to the scribes, was largely influenced by Glenn Campbell's song called "Try a Little Kindness," but it was one of the few songs that Sybils didn't sing on. In fact, according to Dog newspaper, Sybils was under the weather when they had booked the studio time. And so Barry Llewellyn led on the vocals with this particular song. It's a song though that I find it very, very inspirational. And even at this stage, you know, especially we're under this kind of pressure, we kind of, everybody is looking to somebody else for something from them without being willing to work for it. And essentially what the song is saying is that, you know, we all come here with a gift, right? That bag of tools is the gift that you have been given. Your job as a human being is to find out what that gift is, right? Each is given a bag of tools, a shapeless mass.
The shapeless mass for me represents the unknown, the future.
But then you have the book of rules, which is saying, you know, these are the guiding principles to our existence. Whether you want to call it the Bible, whatever it is. The bottom line is, you know, or your conscience. I choose the position, operate from the perspective of your conscience, you know, because without a conscience, we get like what we see happening across the world right here. But it's a very profound song, and no matter how the older this song gets, is the more profound it becomes. And it you know, it's
And the last verse of that song was not in the poem.
The last verse, right? Look when the rain is falling from the sky. That was not in the poem. You're right, God. Thanks for reminding me. And so the group added that verse. And, you know, again, you talk about inspiration. It said, look when the rain is falling from the sky. I know the sun will only be missing for a while, you know? So, you know, the rain will fall, but it's not going to fall all the time. The sun going to come out. There's a song that says, the sun will come out tomorrow. Mm-hmm. Or Bob Marley say, the rain don't fall upon one man, stop. You know, everybody think. So, you know, it's a very, very profound set of lyrics that all of us can take ownership of and apply at different phases of our life.
You need to start a blog too, Richard, and call it Dog Newspaper.
Anyway, go and play some music, God, because we have a whole slew of tunes that we're going to try to lick out there. Oh, I just also want to point out that the song was featured on the soundtrack of the 1978 film called Rockers, and it was also in the 1998 American comedy thriller called Homegrown. So, you know, again, this song also helped put the Heptones on the map internationally. You know, your song is being used in movie scores. You know, that is really taking you places, whether you're a solo artist or as a group. And a seminal piece of work, if you ask me. And we have a whole heap more of that coming right up.
Yeah, man, one of the big hits coming out of the 1970s was this song.
Every find food, yeah. It's so hard at times. I feel like son, I'm going out of my mind. Mama said, Mama said, Mystery Babylon, Mystery Babylon, Mystery Babylon, Mystery Babylon. I know your scheme, I know your plan, can never hold a Rasta man, can never hold a Rasta man. Now you come and give the children wine, intoxicate their mind. When the wine is in the wind, it's hard. Rasta don't drink wine. Mystery Babylon, Mystery Babylon. I know your scheme, I know your plan, can never hold a Rasta man.
Yes, that was Mr. Babylon. Before that, you heard Country Boy and Mama Say.
There are a couple of things here. In my opinion, God, and I will put this out there for the listeners. We can we're at a discussion. I believe that one of the most potent songs written by Leroy Sibbles is Mama Say, right?
1975.
1975. A couple of things, because he had left the group
73.
somewhere around 1973, just after they left they left Studio One, and he went to Canada. He returned in 75, and they basically hit Harry J's studio where they did some of these recordings. But Mama Say, in 1975, when Sibbles would have returned to Jamaica, a couple of things had happened. PNP had won the election in 1972, and the country had started to lean left. And of course, if you remember the whole business of the Cold War, the United States and the negative relationship with Cuba,
Russia
in particular.
and Cuba.
Russia, well, there was no relationship with Russia, and it was almost similar with Cuba, who is just about spitting distance to the west of Jamaica.
Interestingly, the most southern point of the United States and the most northern point of Cuba is 90 miles.
Right.
And the most southern point of Cuba and the most northern point of Jamaica is 90 miles.
90 miles. So the problem is, Michael, as a member of the non-aligned movement, which Cuba was also a part of, was, had close
The
relations.
bad boys of the United Nations.
With Cuba, absolutely. And so what happened is the U.S. started to put some sanctions on Jamaica. So the international, the geopolitical
Plus
situation.
also 1973, 1974, the OPEC countries.
No, but that was a different side of the thing. The OPEC issue with the oil prices, and again, a lot of that was caused by, again, just geopolitical shifts across the world. But the bottom line is that it represented some very negative experiences for Jamaica. And by 1975, the country was now in the throes of some of the hardest, cutbacks. Where OPEC oil prices moved a barrel of oil from $12 to $25 up to $30 a barrel. Yep. We're not earning any money.
Jamaica's GDP, their oil bill was more than their GDP.
Well, it was not. The oil bill was expensive. It was more than the GDP, but it was particularly expensive, especially in '73. The United States had encouraged Jamaica to come off the pound standard. Remember, we shifted from pound, shilling, and pence in '69 to dollars and cents by at that time. And then we moved away from backing our money against the pound sterling in 1973 to the US dollar. And what happened is the US had promised a lot of investment into Jamaica. The investments came, but when Manley started to lean left, a lot of these investors pull out their money. And so Jamaica's foreign direct investment dropped from something like $25 million to just $4 million, which is significant. So your source of foreign exchange is drying up. You can't pay for the oil, you can't buy flour, and so on. So when Leroy, it is against this background, Sybils is putting out this song. There's some porridge in the dish, there's a hole in the roof, we got to make it waterproof. Mama say. Yeah. That is the background. Because what he's doing is recording the kind of sufferation that ordinary people in Jamaica would have now been experiencing as a result of politicians playing footsie with the social and economic life of the country. We may argue about how good or bad Michael Manley is, but the bottom line is the test of that is how it was impacting the average person. And here is our musicians that is recording this for posterity. And I think it is one of the most seminal songs that the Heptones would have done. We are up on a break, and me and my preaching, but you know it good. That's what this show is about, is to teach, and we're gonna teach. Mr. Magic.
Listen, everyone can use a little pick-me-up. And when it's that time, reach for a bottle of Zion Organic Roots, made from all natural ingredients. Zion Roots and ginseng, tiger balm, bedroom bully is the natural alternative. Zion Roots is available at all local restaurants and Caribbean stores. Visit our website at zionrootsorganic.com or call 954-588-5203. Zion Roots, the natural alternative.
Send money back home this tax season with JN Money. Now you can send money to any bank account in Jamaica and get 10% off your transaction fees. Plus, send money to a JN Money card or even pay bills in Jamaica. This tax season, there's so much you can do when you send money back home with JN Money.
Licensed as a money transmitter by the Banking Department of the State of Florida and Georgia.
What makes my heart beat? Finding myself on the sunny side of life, where I can surround myself with everything I want. What makes my heart beat? Trying new foods, created by people who are as excited to make it as I am to taste it. What makes my heart beat? Keeping a promise to myself and to the one who has my heart. Home is where the heart is. My heart says Jamaica, heartbeat of the world. Let's go.
Jamaica, the home of authentic reggae music and reggae wear. Reggae wear, the gear for any occasion. Reggae wear, stylish. Reggae gear, fashionable. Authentic garments, the rhythm of Jamaica. Wrap yourself in the warmth of reggae wear. Get your reggae gear today. Visit www.yardmedia.com. Capture the rhythm of Jamaica in reggae wear. Vibrant colors for spring, summer, fall, and winter. Visit our website at www.yardmedia.com and get your reggae gear today.
Feel it time. Now that dreadlocks have a close, time for dreadlocks on because fairy time, children fairy time. This is a for us time, fairy time, yeah, fairy time. This is a for us time.
You know, Rich, one of the features of the 70s, I realized how slow the music was in the 70s. Rubber dub style, rent-a-tile. What I'm calling it, a cool and deadly.
Absolutely. I think some of the tempo here dropping here, there are a couple of things that kind of explain that too, you know. The whole landscape had started to change. Remember, for most of the 60s and certainly the first half of the 1970s, you were dealing with Coxsone, Duke Reed, the Kong Brothers. You had the Black Ark, Lee Scratch Perry, and
Joe
to a
Gibbs.
lesser extent, you
had
had
little
before them.
people
You
like
had
Bunny Lee.
Yeah, well, Bunny Lee never really had a studio, but it was still there. You had Prince Buster, who, granted, he was focused on his own arrangements. And then by that same 1970s, Who Kim is coming through. Coxsone kind of stepped back. I think Coxsone moved his operation to New York in that towards the middle of the 1970s. Coxsone basically pulled up stumps and relocated to New York. So a lot of the music, and he more started to focus on his catalog. You made a point earlier in the program where you talk about the role that Sugar Minott played in terms of revisiting the catalog. So that was where Coxsone
one of
was
the biggest rhythms was
concentrating.
Vanity Rhythm.
Right. And then up at Roosevelt Avenue, you had Harry J., who was now coming into the picture, Amalgamated, or whatever name, Joe Gibbs, again, 1970. So the list of studios were shifting. A lot of the musicians that really was responsible for generating that,
and creating the sound.
the pump sounds that was coming out of that late 60s, early 70s. Some had transitioned, others had moved to other pastures. You know, we were now into, you know, the socialism period, and some people decided that they not take them chances, so they took one of the 5 flights and they were out of here. And so that also affected, it affected the business.
Yeah, because Jackie Me Too moved to Canada too.
Jackie went to Canada. And as I say, a lot of the musicians, some of them, the Scatterlight musicians came here to the United States. Some went to the UK, and they hook up with different musical groups at the time. So the point is, you started to see the shift. You listen to a song and you knew exactly which studio it was coming from. And as well, a lot of these artists now on their own, because Coxsone gone, some can't travel, so they were looking around for different studios to operate with. So you're seeing some shift in the quality. Sibbles, as far as the Heptones was concerned, by 1975, 76, he too had left the Heptones. And so they were now, you had different, the group was still there, but, you had, different people who were trying to fill in what would have been Sibbles' role. So
Nago Morris was one of those guys.
right.
So.
It contributed to a sort of redirection of the music that was coming from the group. They were still putting out, mind you, pretty good music, but it wasn't as potent as what we had become accustomed to.
Plus the attention of the Jamaican people were now shifting to the DJ style thing, the Michigan and Smiley.
Well,
the Sugar Minotts, the Cocotees, all these guys coming up in the late 60s. Gregory Isaacs, Dennis Brown, Israelites, Culture, Burning Spear. All these new artists now were taking their attention.
And it just showed you how we had grown as a country musically, because, in the early days, you had maybe 3 or 4 studios. You had a plethora of artists. Only the best of these artists you were able to hear, because these studios ain't going to waste money and time on just a try a thing. By the time you start to broaden that out, you move from Coxsone, Duke Reid, and the Kong Brothers to now, so you move from 3 to 6 or 7 studios. What you're going to have is these 7 studios, because everybody want to try eat a food. So you have more musicians, more artists coming forward. They're not exactly going to be as judicious as a Coxsone. Coxsone had a favorite song term that he would use when him think the singer or the artist not really go out with nothing. Him say Jackson, tell me something. You come here to mash up my business. Who tell you say you can't sing? You come to mash up my studio. Don't come back here till 2 years' time and go learn to sing and come back. Well, Mark, Coxsone chased out a number of people out of Studio One who went and became big stars elsewhere. If I'm not mistaken, the Maytals was one of those groups that them run out of the studio and they go elsewhere, that thing. But the point, though, is that the music had started to change. And, to the issue with the Heptones now, they were now plying their trade with different studios. They did some work with the Black Ark. In fact, they did an album, Party Time, with the Black Ark. Party Time basically was they used that to redo a number of the Studio One tunes. And I think you played one of the songs that they did with Lee Perry in the same time. Sufferer's Time, Mystery Babylon. Now, it's interesting we talk about Sufferer's Time, and we'll go back to that song they did with
Mama Say.
Harry J. Mama Say. Because
the term sufferer was a big term in the mid-70s.
1977. Here was what was happening. The country is now in the throes of this left-leaning thing. Michael Manley called a snap
Democratic
election.
socialism.
Win 1976. And so by 77, the full weight of the American sanctions is now down upon the thing. As you were talking about, man going to the restaurant and order a oxtail, a fried chicken with oxtail gravy, and then he push him head under the counter and whisper to the cashier, suffer a size you need to put it in, which is the smallest lunchbox you can take. A burger box. Here's magic, a burger box. So it just tells you, here are the musicians representing the experiences of the time in song, and basically operating as a scribes. And we always said, God, if you want to know what's happening in Jamaica
listen to the
at a
music.
given time, listen to the music. And I'm sure you have a couple pieces.
Yeah, we're going to revisit back some of the other songs from Studio One, not the those I played before, but I want to play that title track from off the Party Time album that they did with Scratch Perry.
Off the door before you go. You got to live some life. Some life. You got to live some life. Yeah. Kick off the door before you go. You got to live some life. Some life. You got to live some life. Kick off the door. We're having a party tonight. Yeah. Where everything will be alright. Come on, everyone. Come on. It's I've been trying. Lord knows that I've been trying to understand why. Understand why. Can I be alone tonight? You said you love me. So sincere that I believed you love me. Yet I can't understand why. Understand why. Can I be alone tonight? Day after day, you treated me any old way. I tried to go, but my soul heart says no. Act so strange, but my love still remains. It says, keep on trying, boy. She's gonna change. Our day will come, and we'll have everything. We'll share the joy, falling in a love can bring. No one can tell me that I'm too young to know. I love you so, and you love me. Our day will come if we just wait a while. No tears for us. Make love and wear a smile. Our dreams have magic because you will always stay in a love this way. Our day will come. Love me always. Nobody else. Love so before, and yet I see them walk through that same door. Hypocrite, where will you run to now? Hypocrite, you will get hurt somehow. Hypocrite, I know that time will tell on you. Hear what I say. I thought you were smart, but man, you've got a wicked, wicked eye. And oh, you're just being used. When you're through, you will be refused. So hypocrite, where will you run to now? Hypocrite, you will get hurt somehow. Hypocrite, I know that time will tell on you. Time will tell on you. I just can't understand.
Yeah, I just had to revisit a couple of those songs from the earlier Heptones, not the later ones.
The problem is if you don't play some of these songs, the listener, they're going to find the address and
Back in the day, it would be tar and feathered.
Absolutely, because how
I
can
run
you
you out
play?
of town.
How can you play? You tell me you're doing a show about Heptones and you don't feature certain type of music.
Suspicious minds.
But you know, we wanna just use the opportunity to
address a couple of things.
to address yes. a
And
couple
one of the
things.
first things that I am going to address is the fact that this shirt that I'm wearing, Jamaica 60th anniversary shirt, is available for sale. It helps to keep us on the air and it helps to keep us funded. So please buy a souvenir shirt, buy your friend one, buy your neighbor one, and buy your neighbor one.
Absolutely. And while you're on it, looking, because not only do we have the souvenir Jamaica 60 shirts, but there's a whole range of reggae wear. One of the things that we want to be known for is, you know, well, we are known out there already, but just want to reinforce. Our job is to put reggae music and Jamaica out there. In fact, that's the role
In a
of
positive
Yard
way.
Media, is to highlight the very best of Jamaica.
And not only that, Richie. We keep, whenever I say it last week, whenever I say it week before last, what's happening next week Saturday at the Island Space Museum?
Next week Saturday, well, it's the 28th. It's
Next week Saturday.
Yes, it's next next week Saturday. 'Cause they said the Saturday coming is this coming Saturday. But next week Saturday, we're gonna officially launch
Yard Media and Sunday Scoops.
And what we're doing with, as part of the launch, is that we're having a nice little virtual concert where we're featuring
Christina Alicia.
two really, real great artists, Christina Alicia and of course
Wayne Armand.
Wayne Armand.
You can come in person, come say hello if you're in the South Florida area, or you
Absolutely.
can watch it on yardmedia.com. And we're also going to rebroadcast it the following Sunday as Sunday Scoops. So make sure you're there.
But we also want to encourage, if you're operating a commercial, any kind of commercial activity, we want you first of all to attend our launch in person. We're gonna provide our whole advertising brochures and so on. Advertising helps to keep us on the air. It allows us as well to fund other projects that we have in the pipeline. And so, this is the first time we are getting this opportunity to have this kind of public interaction. Remember, we started Sunday Scoops and Yard Media right at the beginning of the pandemic, where and for most of the last 2 years, we all had to be, quarantined within our own little space. So now we're getting an opportunity to go out there. We want to make a public presentation of the program and of Yard Media to the public. Also want to just use the opportunity to thank our sponsors who have been with us over the last 2 years. Want to thank our Jamex, for example, has been associated with us for the better part of the last year and a half. Is that magic?
Almost a year.
Right.
June of the year.
Almost a year.
Well, almost a year. Very, very loyal group of listeners. you know, who Sunday Scoops is a religion to them, and we significantly appreciate that. Want to just say thanks to people like the Jamaica Tourist Board, to Jamaica National, and the what's the name, the Roots, the Zion Roots people for believing in us and supporting. This program is also rebroadcast on Kane Radio on a Monday from 10 o'clock to midday every Monday. And again, we just want to say thanks for that kind of partnership. And we're looking to do similar partnerships. We have a couple of people in New York who we have under consideration thing. So a lot of things happening with Yard Media and Sunday Scoops. And again, we wouldn't have been able to do this without you. Visit our website at yardmedia.com and pick up a couple of these shirts. You know, we're going to thank you for it. Jamaica will thank you for it. And as we celebrate getting the groove of our 60th, we just ask you to stick and stay with us. The 28th, Yard Media's public launch, you have it right there.
At the Broward Mall, corners of University and Broward Boulevard.
Well, let's be more specific. It's Island Space Museum, and we want to thank the people at Island Space for associating with us. We also want to thank our sponsors here as well, the Reshi Roma, Grace Kennedy, Jamaica National, the Cardiovascular Institute. We also want to thank them, and of course, Yada
DMR
and DMR. And what can we say about DMR? This program wouldn't happen without DMR. Was kept stuck with us over the last year and a half. I think, God, that's about it.
Yes, I hope you enjoyed the Heptones today. Leroy Sibbles, we have an APB out for you, so you know
yes,
already.
Absolutely.
You know, once Richie have a miles for you, it's done. Walk good, Jah guide and bless. Peace.
Monday's the working day.